Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates! Today on the show, an episode 2 years in the making. It's our 2nd anniversary episode! Woo! So have a seat, and let's reminisce on the last year of pop culture revisits.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. Happy 2 years, Christina!
Happy 2 years, Brian. Who would have ever thought we would make 2 years worth of podcast episodes? Incredible. How you feeling? I mean, come on. 2 years in the making?
It really... It feels good. I think the time has flown by. Yes. It really has. I mean, this is so much fun. And it's still, work. But it's like a bit of work. But it's so fun to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just kind of blink and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like just the number of things we've revisited episodes, and like you just scroll through and you're like, oh my God, we've
crazy.
Rewatched a lot of things.
107 episodes. 107 episodes.
Oh my God.
It's just crazy.
But it's been awesome. So speaking of the last year, how are you feeling? I didn't even ask you.
Thank you for asking.
I just did. Eventually.
I feel great. I feel like, I feel the same way. Like, I feel like it just happens so quickly. It's so effortlessly fun. And I don't know. It blows my mind that we've produced so many episodes.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, it makes me feel so good and barely seems like work.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
It's wild because
strange and,
when you think about like our schedules and with the COVID challenges and with just life in general, and like that we're still able to make this happen is like, it's been great. And I'm so glad to be doing this with you.
I agree.
And I appreciate you so much, and your editing and your just everything, the producing. I just feel like
we just work so well together because you do so much too, and all on like the marketing side of it, and just all the Instagram and even like the Spotify playlist. I mean, I feel like we just fall naturally into those jobs, and it works really well. We're just a good partnership.
Yes, and you left out all the podcast descriptions, Christina.
Oh yeah, those too. Well, that's kind of marketing, right?
I guess so.
But what blows my mind, and we were just talking about this before this episode started, is that this entire year we were dealing with COVID.
Yeah.
Like this whole year.
Yeah.
And that just blows my mind. I can't believe it's been a
insane.
whole year of doing these episodes via COVID. Because, I mean, we're thinking about, we had some challenges at the beginning, but that was over a year ago.
That so blows my mind. Because we were talking about, like revisiting the year, and it's like, we have to talk about, like, say, I remember, like, Beetlejuice and Dirty Dancing, and we did a lot of episodes where we weren't even, we're virtually, so between us, and it's like, no, that was all before the last year. It's nuts.
It is so.
But you know what? It is a testament to the human condition, and we're not alone in this. Everyone is like just going on with their lives and creating and doing stuff. But if you love something, you keep doing it.
You do. You find
a way. And I'm telling you, some of those episodes are hard for me to re-listen to. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I know.
And it's some of them are rough, but it's like we appreciate every one of you that has listened, that has ridden this wave with us as we found sound solutions, as we've tried different locations, that we've...
We really, I have to say, Brian, we really should take a picture of this room. Like, seriously, if these listeners knew where we are right now, and all that...
But even this was...
mostly...
But even this was luck. But even this was luck because we didn't... we moved... Like, we bought the house. We were renting an apartment, and we bought essentially the multifamily, and we have this little room now that is kind of a catch-all room, and this room has friggin', Santa Claus, like all these like Christmas decorations in it, and it's but it worked out, and like we're just like I have to take pictures because we have like
you have to.
We have shipping materials taped up to the walls to keep the sound. We have blankets everywhere. It's funny. I'll take some pictures.
Yes, good. So let's talk about some stats.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Christina, so I did some research and I found our top 10 of the last year. So just the last 12 months.
Just the last 12 months.
I would love for you to guess.
Oh my gosh.
Just guess, because they did the top 10. I mean, I'm flat out surprised by our number one. I really am.
Really?
Yep. And I will tell you that... I shouldn't. I won't tell you.
So I have a thought. I mean, I feel like in the past, like traditionally, our highest rated episodes are TV shows. So I'm going to say our number one was maybe The Love Boat.
Okay. So, according to, is it Spreaker?
Yes.
Okay. There's not a single TV show revisit on here.
What?
Yeah, Christina, this whole list blows my mind. So just the last 12 months. Number 10, The Princess Bride.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't write the episode numbers down.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what the episode. I have some.
But just they're easy to search. Number 9, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. So that was Uncle Buck was episode number 62.
Number 8, Silence of the Lambs.
That does not surprise me.
Number 7, My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh,
yeah, that's a surprise. Number 6, 9 to 5.
Oh, I love 9 to 5.
Number 5, Jurassic Park.
Okay, that's kind of surprising.
Number 4 is a blast from the past, The Karate Kid.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which is what we did with Matt from What Did We Miss podcast. Number 3 was the first episode of our second year.
Willy Wonka.
Very good. Number 2, the most...
I can't believe Willy Wonka is number 3.
I know. And by the way, these, again, going by downloads only.
Yes.
So listens, but it just plays is probably a very different story. But downloads, our number 2 was our anniversary episode.
Oh my gosh, people love us.
The number 1 episode.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Let me think.
I'm just being honest.
Well, it's obviously not a...
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, wait, I know what it is. Wait, I think I know what it is.
Oh,
is it Groundhog Day?
Nope.
Oh.
I'll give you a hint. It was recorded at your house.
Little Mermaid.
No. But it was a musical.
Oh, God.
Grease.
Oh my God, Grease!
Our most...
is
this so random? Our most downloaded episode was Grease.
Wow.
So thank you, everybody. It was a great year.
Thank you.
By the way, I will say, just as a stat, our downloads were up 6%. And the reason why this is important is because before COVID, just a little bit, we were trailing very up. Like, and our downloads kept going higher and higher and higher. With COVID, people stopped downloading. Mm-hmm. And our essentially dropped. But what happened is our consistent downloaders never really left us, and we ended up higher than the year before because of consistency. Because we started out, our downloads were pretty kind of slow, and then we built an audience. Luckily us, I mean, it happens, and we appreciate it. And but then people weren't downloading during COVID because you could just play them. You didn't have to download them to use on your on your way to work or somewhere else. Exactly.
Alexa can do it.
So
that is really interesting.
Great.
Very interesting. I don't think I would have guessed many of those. Maybe.
But Grease, yeah.
Grease, number 1. Look at you. My goodness. So let me ask you this, Brian. Do you feel like, because I have an answer for this myself, but do you feel like things, how has year 2 changed for you as compared to, I almost said season 1. Year 1. Do you feel like it's changed much? Do you feel like your process has changed much? What are you thinking?
Oh my God, I really don't think it has,
no.
To be honest. I think sometimes, and I don't know why this is happening, I'll be honest with you, but I feel like I'm watching things like, if we have an episode to record, like, I feel like I'm watching the thing 2 days before we record. And I used to watch them like 2 weeks before just to get a little bit ahead, to sort of stew in things.
Sure.
And I don't know what's going on, but it's like maybe I want it to be fresher. I find that I'm taking fewer notes on average. I think I'm letting just more like the experience happen. And then I think about it. Yeah. Then I'll think about it like after I'll watch, I'll start doing a bunch of notes where I used to like pause every 5 minutes. And I do think something happens to the overall enjoyment of something when you pause it to take notes. Sometimes if there's a great speech. Yeah. Like, oh shit, I'm writing that line down. But for the most part, I don't I don't pause as much as I used to. I kind of let the movie happen, and then after it's over, I'll take a bunch of notes.
Yeah.
How about with you?
I feel similar.
Yeah.
I do feel like I've changed in terms of my thought organization has changed a lot in year 2. And I think even as us recording the episodes, it's a little bit more organized in our thoughts. Like the trivia is usually near the end. I mean, I think some of it's been the same, but I just feel like it's a little bit more like, okay, now this is this, and now we're doing this, and now we're doing that. Even though we don't do deep dives, we still have a little bit more organized in our thought process. And as far as my notes taking, I agree. I take less notes, I think, and the type of notes are more quotes or things like that, as opposed to like observations of the movie itself.
But in the beginning, when we first started doing this podcast, you barely took notes at all.
I didn't take any notes.
That was like your shtick.
Yeah, I didn't take any notes, and then I started taking notes, and then I felt like... But you were always on top of it. Like, I mean, it was never... Like, that was what was so funny. It's like, I would walk in with 6 pages of notes, and you wouldn't have any notes. But, like, the conversations were, like, awesome. Like, you didn't... Like, it's so interesting, but it's like, I do find myself now, it's weird, it's almost flipped. Like, I find myself taking fewer notes and only pausing for, like you said, the dialogue. And the other thing, too, is I feel like we're a little bit more selective in what we rewatch. I think year 1 we're like, oh, I want to watch all my favorite movies from the 80s. And then as the year, like, as year 2 approached and has been happening, I think we're a little bit more selective in that we're looking at anniversary dates.
Yes,
and
we are. Oh, that's a really
like
good
25
point.
years ago, you know, Grease was released or whatever.
I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
I think that we're a little professional.
Because I think it's more timely and it's more shocking sometimes. Like, this movie is 40 years old.
It's insane. It's insane.
Well, speaking of, do you have any favorite, like, moments?
Oh my God. So I truly enjoy myself no matter what I'm doing, right? But I think my most favorite moments is when you and I are on the same page about something and we get super passionate about it, and we're like quoting the movie and just laughing, and like sometimes we'll like quote the same thing, that we'll have the same things written down. Clue, for example. I feel like the whole episode was just like, oh, and then Madeline did this, and da-da-da-da-da. And we just had so much fun just reliving the movie. And I love that. And even like Will and Grace, it was the same type of thing. Like there was so many quotes that we loved, and we just spouting off all the quotes back and forth. I love that. One
of the wildest things, like beyond quotes, was like, this happened during our My Best Friend's Wedding episode. Like, I was like, oh, I think the best scene, though... And you're like, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you know what I'm going to say? And you knew the scene, and all I said was, but I think my favorite scene was... And, like, that movie is like an hour and 50 minutes, and you knew which 4-minute scene was the one that was the most, like, compelling for me.
Yeah.
Like, on the boat. One of my favorite scenes of this movie... And I think it's beautifully done. And I actually think it's one of Julia.
I know what you're going to say, because it's going to be one of mine too.
Oh.
Should we guess?
Guess.
I think it's going to be the moment on the boat.
Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. That's what I was going to say.
It was a great movie. That was a great scene.
Perfect, beautiful, sweet, sad, heartbreaking scene that almost belongs in a different movie.
Yep.
And I'm like, how did you know that was my favorite scene?
We're finally getting to know each other, Brian.
But what's interesting is that we don't, part of this, like, historically with these past 2 years, is that we don't ever say how we felt then or now.
Right. We don't talk about the movie beforehand.
And so, like, for example, like, Dead Poet Society, I was nervous because I'm like, everyone loves Dead Poet Society. She doesn't think I'm nuts, but she doesn't think I'm a heartless... I mean, usually you think I'm a heartless bastard.
Yeah, well, that's nothing.
But the fact that we both hated Neil... who is such a sad, sympathetic, like, sad character. I mean, he commits suicide. I mean, like, and we just rip him to shreds.
Yes.
And to me, it was like, I cannot believe we're on the same page. I mean, I kind of could.
Well,
but because it's
just very validating, I think, because we both feel the same way. It's like, oh, good, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, like,
because that sometimes
like
will happen when I'm watching a movie, and it's like, it's so nice when you kind of agree and see the same thing I see.
Yes. Yeah, it's very crazy.
Yeah. Is there anything about being a podcaster that surprised you this year?
I touched upon this, and I felt like I was crossing the line, but I hope I'm not. But, like, I touched upon this on our, what episode was it? What did we do last week? Oh my god. Sixth Sense? Yeah. So when I said, one thing I've noticed is that, like, our downloads, we're very lucky. We have a very, very dedicated, fabulous group of listeners, and our downloads are up. But what is completely frozen solid are the ratings and reviews on iTunes. And I don't know why. I mean, I hope people are still liking us and they're still listening, and more people are listening than before. But it's just funny because I never see that number move, and I'm like, that's weird. Because God knows we ask for it 3 times an episode.
Right.
So it's not working. Maybe I don't know if it's because of that. Like maybe it zones out because it's like that break.
Well, we're getting old now, so people don't go maybe to. Like, I feel like when you start watching listening to a podcast, you're more apt to, like, go to it to learn about it and be a little bit more interactive with them.
Yeah.
And now that we've been around for 2 years, maybe people are just
fair.
We don't need to
it's fair. Most of them was, I would say a large majority were all in our first year.
Yeah.
But it's, listen, if you feel inspired, just click the stars, whatever stars you don't even write a review.
Definitely.
You don't have to.
I think what surprised me mostly is how many episodes we've done. And, like, what's really funny is, I'll look through, like, Pluto or whatever, Netflix to see what's going on. And I'll see a movie and be like, oh, my God, I forgot we revisited that one already. Like, that's happened to me many times. So we have 107 episodes right now. And it's like, I forget some of the stuff that we revisited. Almost to the point where I'm like, oh, man, I want to, like, revisit that again.
Yeah. Well, but also, too, it's like, so on Instagram we do these things where we'll do, like, the birthday, like, oh, it's Tom Hanks' birthday. And it's like, well, so I'll do, like, a picture. It's like, oh, it'll be big. We'll do big, and we'll do, like, Forrest Gump. Or no, that's a bad example. We'll do Kevin Bacon. This was more recent.
Yeah.
And it was like Kevin Bacon. It was like, oh, we'll do, so it's Footloose, and it's Friday, she's having a baby. And then I'm like, oh no, he was also in Friday the 13th, which we've also reviewed.
Right.
So it's like, it's crazy how quickly they stack.
Yeah.
They just, like, keep stacking up.
Well, especially, because these actors are in, some of these actors are in so many of the movies that we've revisited already. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy.
So we had some good stuff. Anything that brought you down? Any disappointments of the last year?
Well, I mean, this hasn't changed from the first year, I don't think, but Facebook. Facebook will forever be letting me down. I'm not even kidding you. So I don't know.
They're punks. Jerks. They hold you. It's like they're holding your shit for ransom. I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
It's like, give us money, and the people that are following you will see your things. It's like, how about the people that are following us deserve to see our things?
Seriously,
that's why they're
want
following
to
us.
see things.
They are clicking follow, and Facebook holds our stuff. They show it to 17 people. We have 400, almost 400 followers on Facebook. But it's like, these people are opting in. They are clicking, see our stuff. Yep. Facebook's not showing them. You can just see it in the number of views. Like, views. It's crazy.
That totally disappoints me. Yeah. And the fact that we can't even do our video. We don't do our video polls anymore.
And by the way, it hasn't hurt us.
No, it hasn't.
The downloads are going up, actually.
It's really annoying that, like, we spend all this time making the video polls, and then it literally reaches, like, 8 people out of our 400 followers. So that's just a huge disappointment for me. And also not being able to record at What Share is...
That is such a bummer.
I really enjoyed that. And hopefully they'll open up soon. But we really enjoyed recording there.
I did see that they are opening up their co-working space. I hope the podcasting studio is soon to follow. I do have to say, another disappointment from the heart. Our little occasional cameo appearances by my cat, Shorty. Shorty left us. I don't think I've said this out loud on this podcast, but Shorty was 20. He was ill. He had some very real bladder issues, and the vet thought it was best for him to cross the Rainbow Bridge.
Yep.
I miss him every day. If you've ever lost a pet, you know how hard that is. But he was such a part of our show, especially in the first interrupting, doing blood-curdling screams.
Yep. He's dearly missed by me as well.
Yeah. And Christina was very kind. She made us a really nice portrait of Shorty. It was really sweet.
I try.
But yes, Shorty, rest in peace. I love you and I miss you. Let's get into. I mean, so I really want to talk. So we have a couple things. Just a little heads up. The second half of this episode, I think it'll be the second half, will be awards. We're gonna celebrate the movies and TV shows and music videos that we revisited with special awards. Special awards, and that's coming up. But first, we're gonna dive into our fan. I don't want to call it fan mail. Sounds obnoxious, but their listeners. Our listeners have reached out to us over the past year with questions, comments, and observations to our Gmail account, oldroommatespod@gmail, to us on Instagram. Sometimes just flat out texting me at bumping it. My personal phone number. That is crossing a line, listeners. That's crossing a line. Even just bumping into people at work and exactly. Yeah. But we love it. And we do. Listen. Anytime someone wants to talk to me with the podcast, I'm like, you're listening? Oh, I know. It's such a treat. That's another big surprise, so much, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I will never downplay this emotion. It means so much that people are listening. It's really exciting. It really is exciting to find out people are listening, because we really, truly just do this for ourselves. So the first question, it's of course 2 parts. It's like your favorite and least favorite revisits. Ah, yes. So I have mine, but go ahead. I have mine. I have a few of my favorites. So I will say Misery is right up on the top of the list. That's my number 1. Oh my gosh. My favorite revisit. Meaning rewatching the movie. Yes. That's yes. Not the episodes. Yeah, right. Just the movie. That was so good. I enjoyed that movie so much. And I was so happy that it still affected me so strongly as it did. And that was winter. That was January, February, right? That was right around January, February, yes. And so that's episode number 77, by the way, yes. And I think great, episode 77. And that, because when I rewatched it, I'm like, what perfect time in world history, a winter, because we got slammed in the Northeast with snowstorms, at least for Rhode Island. Oh my! I feel like I was shoveling every day. Yeah. And I will say, and it was your first year as a homeowner, not really a homeowner, but like a landlord. Yes, having to yes, we're absolutely right. So I couldn't even be like, oh, it'll melt. Like I had to be out there shoveling. To be out there. So, but I will say, but also with COVID, you're stuck inside. So you have this really funny thing when you watch Misery in the winter during COVID. Yes. And you feel sort of stuck, and it's just so effective. And Kathy Bates, oh my God. Kathy Bates was so amazing. So terrifying. Just a great film. So great. And, even James Caan was so great. And you did feel a little bit more empathy towards him. Not that you didn't before, but knowing that you couldn't leave the house. Like, you kind of get a little bit of that, right? And also Clue was such a good revisit, too. It was just fun and surprising, and one of those movies you could probably watch 20 times and still get stuff out of. So I love that. My second one was actually She's Having a Baby, and I'll tell you why. I think I had one of my vaccine shots, and I was just like sort of on the sofa, and I was feeling like just I don't know, and not off, but just like I should probably sit down. And it was just like in terms of nostalgic, like a nostalgic moment, I was like, I really remembered how much I liked that movie. Not that everything like still felt some of it obviously felt dated, but just the flow. I feel like that movie has a good flow to it, and I liked revisiting those emotions, those performances. Kevin Bacon's so good in that movie, and Elizabeth McGovern, and just the soundtrack. It just connected so many pop culture dots for me in that moment. And I was like, I like rewatching this movie. What about some of your least favorites? This is so much easier. Did you find this to be an easier little... I think we probably... I'm telling you right now, I bet we have... I have 3 written down, and I bet you have the same 3. I have 2 written down, but I know my third automatically. So one of my first is Dead Poets Society. Yep, me too. Another That's one of mine. Porky's. Yep. My third might surprise you. Okay. Backdraft. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that does surprise me. My third was Prince of Tides. Wow, really? Yeah. Really? Yeah. Really? No, I'm kidding.
So Porky's.
Wait, so okay.
Episode 86 was
Holy
Porky's.
shit! Yeah, Porky's.
Porky's was the.
Well, I don't want to. Really quick though, I want us to be careful because we have the awards coming up.
Yes, I'll be careful with how I feel. Definitely my least favorite out of all of them was Porky's.
Okay.
In fact, I think I mentioned it in the episode that I almost didn't watch the whole thing.
You did say that, and here's why Backdraft and Deadpool Society were my 1 and 2, because I think with the drama, wow, do you feel every minute of that? Mm-hmm. And it's fair with comedy too, and it's a bad comedy that nothing is going to make you, and that is like you could almost cry, bad comedy. But Backdraft, I think because. Holy God, that movie is long. Those two movies, Backdraft and Deadpool Society, Porky's is 89 minutes. I mean,
right,
these movies are 2 hours and 15.
Yes.
That is when you feel every minute. I'm like, actually, both of these movies are interesting in the sense that they are about a specific occupation, if you will, whether it's a firefighter or a teacher. But they also have a star-studded cast.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, how is this movie a crashing bore?
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true.
On rewatch. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Yeah. And as far as The Prince of Tides goes, I was dreading watching that because of that one scene.
Yes.
And I remember just it being painful watching it because that scene was always in the back of my mind. And it was still just as terrifying as I was watching it. So to me, that revisit was so unenjoyable.
Wow.
Yeah, because of that scene.
I feel like you feel more strongly now.
Maybe.
Than then.
Maybe my memory
you hated that second half. I know that you hated the second half love story. It felt very...
the love story was ridiculous. Yeah, all that.
We disagreed on that. Speaking of disagreements.
Yes.
The next listener question. What do you consider this is an interesting wording, your best disagreement? Best disagreement. I don't like disagreeing, to be honest. I think it's actually more fun when we agree. But...
and I feel like we didn't disagree as much this year.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what it was. Maybe we're just understanding each other better. Maybe we're respecting each other's opinions.
But I feel like we were more on each other's.
Yeah, we were more on each other's page.
Isn't that so weird?
There were a couple of disagreements that popped into mind.
I had one pop right in. That's what I wrote it down.
So there were a couple recent ones.
Yes,
Jaws.
Yeah.
The rating of Jaws was a big disagreement where I had thought if it was released today, it would be PG-13, and you thought it would be R. That was funny.
1,000%.
Do you know what rate this movie was?
Yeah, Christina, it's my first note. This is PG. So I watched it on iTunes, and I was like, wait a minute, PG. And I was like, is this the right cut of this movie?
Yeah.
PG.
Yes, which did weird me a little bit, but only because we're coming off of a Mommy Dearest a few months ago, remember? And it was we were very surprised that was PG.
Yes.
But we forget about the time of...
Christina, but I think it should be R anyway. I don't think this, because with what you're saying, then you think if Jaws came out today, it should only be PG-13.
Yes.
I disagree.
I mean, it was gross in places, but I don't think it was R gross.
That, I'm telling you, Jaws, that kid Alex, the little kid Alex who's on the float, that shark bites into him and he explodes, basically. He, bursts into a blood. And then you see the shark, really, wrangling, wrestling from the distance, and you're like, that is R. I am sorry. That is not PG-13.
I respectfully disagree.
Wow. This is shocking. I'm shocked by you.
I didn't find it that...
The blood is squirting out of this kid.
I was surprised. I forgot the little kid dies.
I couldn't remember who died, who lived, and who died. I mean, I obviously remember the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie very vividly. And I remember
and probably the first 15 minutes you probably remembered,
completely. Right? That... And by the way, here's another reason.
I know, you're going to say about the boobs, but... Is that what you're going to say about the boobs?
Yeah. So you do know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, well, we're just talking about the first 15 minutes, and you said, and that's another reason why...
Christina, the dialogue. Do you remember the dialogue? The very beginning. It's at a bonfire. They're drinking Narragansett. The girl and guy are smiling at each other, wink, wink. And they run off to go into the woods. The woman is running, and she strips her clothes off, including her bra, side boob all over. Now, while this is happening, the guy says, she's like, come on, come on. He's like, I'm coming. She rips her top off, and he says, oh, I'm definitely coming.
Oh, I missed
come
that.
on. That is not PG.
I think it's PG-13.
And side boob.
I think it's PG-13.
Oh my God, Christina.
That was a funny argument. And then the kids, the ages of the kids. So what's funny about like these disagreements, it's more about the actual construction of the movie. It's not even necessarily our opinions that are disagreeing, which I thought was kind of different from year one. Yeah. But the ages, when you were like, they're 5. And I'm like,
Escape
Twitch
Mountain.
Oh, did I not say the movie?
Yeah.
Escape Twitch Mountain, episode number 104.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, they're kids of 5. I'm like, they are not 5.
You see, I don't know children. I don't have children.
Clearly.
I was wrong, and I'm sorry.
And then the other one, I'm sorry, I have another one.
Oh, God. I didn't know we disagreed that much. Good.
We didn't really. Well, we have a lot of bickering at the beginning of the episodes, which is funny. Where you'll step on my opening or something, and I'll be like, Emma, it's my turn. That's really funny. But the other argument was, it was a pretty good disagreement about the length of Ever After.
That's mine. So I only wrote one down. That was mine because I wrote. You wrote the ending's too long, and it's been the whole argument was like it's predictable,
right?
And I said, but and I was saying it's not. Oh my God, I don't want to argue again. But it's not.
I could just play the clip.
Because Cinderella, maybe you should. But that was, because Cinderella does not, she's not kidnapped by a crazy bald man. Mm-hmm. It is different, so you don't know how it's going to go. I did not think it was that predictable was my argument.
Right.
But that's the one disagreement that immediately jumped out at me. This movie does a great job of building up these moments, and then you're thinking it's going to go one way. I mean, I really have to just again respectfully disagree because I feel like I didn't really know exactly how it was going to go or exactly how it was going to end. I mean, they're not going to kill her, but it's
it's a Cinderella story. It's Cinderella. So
yes, Christina, I know.
So how do you not know how it's going to end?
Oh my God. Because what had gone? Where are the mice? Where's the pumpkin?
The mice are
No, I know, Christina. I know.
Maids.
I know. Where's the fairy godmother? That's
the fairy godmother is Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
So we know it's a Cinderella story. We know all of those pieces are there. We know how it's going to end.
But Christina, when she shows up with the wings,
which was over the top.
But I thought it was beautiful.
Oh, I hated it. I hated the wings.
What is wrong with you?
The wings are too much.
You hate Christmas. So she shows up, but that was the whole thing. Like a bird, you love that line. A bird could love a fish, and now he's like, "Well, then we'll give you wings."
So why didn't he have little guppy lips then?
Because fish are fish.
Yeah, they're ugly.
So. Imagine if he just soaked her wet. She shows up soaking wet with gills on her face.
Or he shows up in a fish costume.
So, oh my God! But the point of the setups were so she shows up in the wings, and it is very over the top. I fell for it. I liked it. It's a fairy tale, and
now you feel like it's a fairy tale.
But
what about the mice, Brian? And that's Ever After is episode number 96.
Yeah.
For anybody who's keeping track.
Listener question.
Another listener question.
Listener.
Wait, listener?
It's listener because they're not watching. It's not a viewer.
Maybe they're watching. They
could
be
YouTube.
watching.
They could be watching the YouTube. That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners wanted to know what are some of our funniest podcast moments.
Okay.
You look very surprised.
I don't have that.
Do you not have that question?
I don't have it. Well, I mean, I know mine.
Okay, what is it?
Oh my God, Lionel Richie.
Oh my gosh,
hello,
that was so funny.
Christina, I think I had tears in my eyes. We were just laughing the whole thing. When we got on this tangent. And please play if you can do. I know it's a lot of work.
I will. Yeah.
But it's you play that little moment where we're basically imagining his backstory, the professor's backstory, and we're making him the worst person in the world.
Yeah, I will play the backstory for sure.
You know what? You bring up an interesting point. It's a little presumptuous. She's even looking for someone at all.
Exactly.
What? Why? Because she's single?
Because she's
single?
blind.
What? Yeah. Why? Because she's single and blind?
She's a
You're
woman.
just like, you just think she wants you
She's
for no
looking
reason?
for someone. She needs
The
someone.
girl has a smile on her
She's
face.
a woman.
She has an amazing body.
She's not a child.
Is a dancer, actress, and pottery star.
She is.
She doesn't need you. You need her, Lionel.
Absolutely, he needs her. She should be saying that to him.
He's a dirty old man. Yeah.
He's twice her age.
Yeah.
He's stalking her.
Let's just keep adding to the story. He is still married. He's going through
because he's going through a terrible divorce.
His kids can't stand him
because he cheated with a 12-year-old. Oh, Lionel!
Oh my God, Lionel!
No wonder Nicole strayed like she did.
I think we laughed more in that episode than any of the other episodes.
That was really funny.
We had a good time with that.
Funniest moment that I remember was in Mommy Dearest, believe it or not. And when we were, I just laugh about this. When we were agreeing about Christina being a brat.
Yeah.
And we were just basically like taking the mother's side during this like.
Yeah.
But then she has this temper tantrum. And I will tell you, she was rude and disrespectful to Joan Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
She was. As a mother, and let me tell you, I've never beat my child, and I don't condone that. But I also don't condone a child disrespecting a parent that way either.
Yeah.
She was a little shit.
Yeah.
She was a brat. She was yelling and just being a little shit. And then she's like, go in the house or something. And she's like, no. Like she refused to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. Now I wouldn't have locked her in a closet.
Right.
This, and I wouldn't have screamed the way that she did. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we all know she has anger issues.
Yeah.
Right? We all know that.
Including Christina.
Bottom line was she was being very disrespectful. So I did not necessarily disagree with Joan's reaction to her. Mm-hmm. I think she obviously went overboard by locking her in the closet.
There's quite a few scenes where I'm like, I don't understand Christina in this scene. It's like, your mom is a psycho. Yes. Stop arguing with her.
You know what's happening. It's not like she's going to turn around and be like, you're right, Christina.
She didn't learn her lesson.
But she was not listening. Yeah, she was not learning the lesson. She was stubborn. She knew what was going to happen.
Christina, that scene where she's like, Mother needs to rest. You know how important this day is to Mother. And then they cut to the kids doing blood-curdling screams outside her bedroom window. It's like, you're gonna get beat, kid. Like, it's like, this woman. Oh my God. Christina in that character, and I will say character, I mean, it's based on a true story, sure, but like, at least in the movie, for cinematic purposes, goddamn, that girl, she never fucking learns. I mean, like,
she did not learn her lesson.
She didn't learn her lesson, ever.
No. That made me like thinking about that episode was just like so funny for the type of movie that it was. It was like, oh my gosh, and then just some of the other things, the Point Break dialogue, were like brutal. The Kim Basinger character, it's fun.
God. But any time I think we dive into the dialogue, we ham it up, and it's so fun. God. The sergeant says, "You did this. You did that." He's yelling at the top of his lungs. Oh my God,
of course, that's all he did.
It's giving me a headache. And he goes, "And what is it? You produce squat!" Dramatic pause. Squat!
God.
My God. Squat. It's like, ooh, Mr. Tough Guy.
I mean, please.
Yeah,
it's not like it's a PG movie. Like, let her rip.
I know.
Let her rip.
I wrote a bit aggressive. The other thing is, oh my God, Keanu Reeves has some real tough dialogue in the beginning. When he's yelling at Gary Busey, and he's like, how did it make you feel? You feel alive, right? Yeah. Not in the box yet.
Are you mad? Feels good, right? Let's go nail these sons of bitches.
That is fun.
It really is. Oh, and I have one more funniest moments, and I have a prop for you.
Oh my God.
There's a couple of episodes. I want to say it was probably during like Jaws, possibly. Or,
oh, I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
When we're
ginger shoes. Oh my God, it's so obnoxious.
So in honor of our
Yay!
2-year anniversary, I found this at the bottom of my bag.
Wait, why don't you have like a full
I know.
supply?
Well, I know. I've been trying to wean myself off of them. I really have an issue.
You guys, these ginger
Prince
chews.
of Peace, ginger chews.
Can I tell you, and I'm pissed. We were at Trader Joe's
Here,
recently.
I'm going to give it to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy
But
anniversary.
Thank you.
I didn't get you anything.
But just the chomping and you can hear the wrappers rattling.
We were starving.
I was
that
dying.
that particular day, we were starving. But I was at Trader Joe's and I didn't buy any, and I forgot they.
You know
had
what?
them there.
They're not as good as these. I mean,
Wait, I thought.
those are not Trader
No,
Joe's.
I thought you said. Wasn't it Ocean State Jobless that had the bad ones?
No, it's no.
Oh.
Ocean State Java has the bad ones, but
Okay.
no, Trader Joe's has them, and
Yeah.
they're fine. They're bigger. They don't have that same kick.
Yeah.
So here we are talking about the ginger chews again.
Oh my god,
Obsessed.
I just love those ginger chews.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So that's that for that. Were there any? It's the next question.
Okay.
Next question.
Yeah.
What were some of the revisits that surprised you, either negatively or positively?
I wrote one of each. I'll give you
Okay.
my positive, and then Jordan, your positive, then we'll go negative.
Sure.
Okay. My positive was Weird Al, actually.
Ah.
I remember that the key word in this question is surprised. So I wrote, oh my god, he can dance. Like, he's a good...
He was so talented. Oh, still is. He's
Truly. I mean, like, I know you made fun of me, but I was like, wow, he really is like a good dancer. And, like, I found him to
agreed,
be
I think.
attractive, like him in that Eat It video, and in like a surgeon, he's just like moving around. He's got moves, and that was a true revisit surprise that I never considered the true dance talent of Weird Al.
That's a great surprise. That's episode number 66, I believe.
Nice, Christina. Thank you for writing the episodes
I
down.
try.
What was your big positive surprise?
My big positive, there were a couple, but the one I will say is, actually for me, she's having a baby.
Ah.
And because when I had first watched it, I didn't love it because it was sort of like this nice little comedy, and then it took that dark turn.
Yeah.
And I felt manipulated.
Yeah.
Manipulated? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Manipulated, yeah. And that upset me. During the rewatch, I watched it so differently that I appreciated the twist and how it all tied everything together and how all of the kind of fantasy sequences were all in his head, and then he's thinking back to all the good moments, and it surprised me how much of a middle-aged lens I was looking at this with, and how much I could relate to it.
There's a lot of good stuff in that movie, and I think you hit the nail on the head because I didn't catch that. Like the whole thing about you'll be happy, you just won't know it. And then what follows that line from the Alec Baldwin character is a lot of like the strife of married life, right? It's like, oh, where should the sofa go? And oh, your dad was rude to me, and oh, what do I do with my career? And that's the whole movie.
Yes.
And you have these fantasy sequences, but I think all but one still works. But then the ending, you're exactly right. That flashback sequence in the hospital is all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
I never connected it the way
No, I
you
never did
connected
either.
it. Yeah.
Until the rewatch. And that was She's Having a Baby is episode number 91.
Nice.
If anybody wants to listen to that one.
My negative surprise was actually Nightmare on Elm Street. I just found it kind of like a bummer. It was a little too dark and not enough fun.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't like it. I liked it, but it was and I think for a low budget horror movie like that really sort of paved a new way for an iconic horror villain. But I do think like it really didn't have much in the way of humor that we've come to expect from Freddy Krueger.
Right.
And I do think that initial, and I not to delve too much into this, but like that initial murder of the blonde girl in the bed was it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was just too much.
But
even
yeah, I
for a
remember
horror
that
movie.
I remember being disappointed by that too. That wasn't my answer, but I remember being disappointed in that you expect it to be funny, and he didn't have that personality.
Have some wit. Even like maybe the murders could be a little like creative or inventive. That didn't happen till later.
Yeah, it happened after. Mine, well, I have two, I think. So, Go-Go's videos were a disappointment for me.
Yes.
Because I was watching them, and I'm like, these ladies are so miserable. Like, they just looked
especially Vacation.
Happy, especially Vacation.
Yeah.
They were a little happier with head over heels, but for the most part, Vacation, they just looked either I don't know, on drugs or something, but they looked so miserable. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it really soured my feelings about it. Like, if I heard that, not that I hear it anymore, but if I heard it, I think I would feel differently about the song.
So we had talked a little bit about this in that episode of the Go-Go's, because they were, like, they consider themselves sort of borderline punk. Like, that's how they got their start. And I remember reading somewhere, and I actually read Belinda Carlisle's memoir, and but they didn't want to do videos. They weren't that kind of band. They wanted to be, like, they wanted to keep...
They made it perfectly clear. They were like spoiled little kids.
But they didn't want to entertain that side. They wanted to keep their edge. And I think that's why we felt that disconnect. That they didn't really want to be in this video.
Yeah. And then the other one was Basic Instinct, and just how bad the movie was.
Oh, good Lord.
And it was very surprising how bad it was, because I didn't remember it as being terrible.
It was like Sharon Stone got the memo and no one else did.
Yeah.
It's like she's acting in a different film, and I think she's actually quite good in Basic Instinct. But, oh, wow.
Just the bad dialogue.
It was so bad, we made a drinking game out of it.
That's right.
Which you can find on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right. That's right.
But, I mean, it's so bad. And I think when you can make a drinking game out of a bad movie, it means it's real bad. Because it's the same things that are happening over and over. And, like, no one's learning. Like, it just keep putting yourself in danger. I mean, it just makes no sense.
How bad all the cops were. They were all so stupid. And how racist and sexist. Like, they were just assholes.
Yeah. Oh, and rapists.
And rapists.
The lead character raped someone. I mean, it's like, what a lovely movie. Okay. The next question. May I read it?
Yes.
Because my answer is very short.
Okay.
Were there any TV revisits that inspired you to continue watching the series? My answer's no. How about with you?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
The Love Boat.
Good.
The Love Boat. And The Love Boat is on Pluto. Yeah. And I will tell you, there are many times where I'm sitting around and I'm like, I just want to put something on. And I will go to Pluto and put on The Love Boat.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I will say, when in my research of Too Close for Comfort, I did watch a couple more episodes. But only to sort of seek them out, because Monroe actually got sexually assaulted by these two women.
That's right.
Oh my God. And I think another one was about, I don't know if it was a pregnancy or something else had happened. Did you
rewatch the episode where she fainted and pulled the tablecloth off of the table?
Oh, no, I didn't.
You need to look that up. You're going to be surprised that you missed it. You're going to be so surprised
I was probably writing a note down, Christina.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I will say, for a show, like, I mean, Too Close for Comfort, it tried to tackle some bigger things, and I'm not... listen, it's no facts of life.
No.
But I did admire the central marriage relationship.
Yes.
Do you want to read the next question?
So the next one is, what are some of your biggest requests from fans, and what are some of the revisits listeners can expect in year 3?
Do we ever get requests? We get requests frequently, and I want to remind people, we love requests. It's such a dicey thing with us, because... Sometimes people will request their favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's great on a rewatch.
Right.
And we have to be, we have to be honest. And sometimes it backfires.
Well, and this didn't backfire so much, but remember we had the email from Nicole, who, it was her birthday, and I think it was back in May. And it just so happened that Ever After was one of her favorite movies, and she wanted us to revisit it, and as a birthday wish. Right. And we were a little bit nervous to do that, because we're like, well, what if we don't like it? And that would be really awkward for poor Nicole. So I think we started that episode with like 25 different disclaimers and everything else. Because it is like, you have to understand that we are reviewing it, and we are going to be honest about it. And thank God we both liked that movie. But it can happen. And we both have to have watched it.
That's right. There are some prerequisites it has to meet.
There's a few prerequisites. But please send your suggestions. And if we can, and if it's the criteria, we would love. But what are some of the ones that they've requested, Brian?
Torsten, he is a friend in Deutschland. Hello, Torsten. He really wants Gremlins and for Christmas, like a
Great,
Christmas.
that's perfect.
Okay, but I have been actively avoiding that movie. I've not seen it in decades.
No, neither have
But
I.
I will tell you, that kitchen scene where the mom is killing the gremlins, the microwave, the blender, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, it has stayed with me for my life.
Yeah.
And I am not afraid to rewatch that movie.
I think you're seeming a little bit afraid. I gotta say, you're seeming a bit afraid.
But I remember it so vividly. I don't know if I need to watch it again, but we should, and we shall.
Yes,
at
that
some
sounds,
point.
sounds
Okay?
Great.
How about you? Anything on your
well, I know
request
the
list?
Breakfast Club has been requested repeatedly. And we will, and that also with A Fish Called Wanda
That's right.
has been requested as well. And we will be doing both of those movies. We wanted to, believe it or not, so both of those movies, we have sort of special guests in mind for the podcast. And we want to wait until we have a studio available.
That's only
so
right.
we're really hoping to do those soon.
Mm-hmm.
So what cheer if you're listening.
So no pressure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then as far as upcoming movies and TV shows that we have, aside from those, we were talking about doing, Working Girl, Annie, Dangerous Liaisons, maybe Romy and Michelle.
Yeah, that was a request also. And also really quick, one more was Short Circuit. Have you seen Short Circuit?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
And then as far as TV shows, I know we've been wanting to do Good Times.
Forever, I've been wanting to do Good Times.
Yeah.
I think it's my fault. I think my library has season 4, but it was something weird that.
We'll figure
more
into
it out.
that. And then Laverne and Shirley was another one that we'll hopefully be revisiting. So stay tuned. And again, if you have any other suggestions or requests, please send us an email, oldroommatespod@gmail.com, or send us a text if you have our personal private information. Send us a message on Instagram or whatever, anywhere. I mean, we're available everywhere.
And speaking of Instagram,
yes,
should we jump into Instagram?
Yes,
comments?
yes.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
It's really interesting. I'm really sorry. Before we get into that, although Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
it was in our top 5. It was number 5 for the year. That episode got us a lot of activity, a lot of comments.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. And even some text messages. And some people said it was their favorite episode so far of just our conversation of Jurassic Park. Others were baffled by some of our comments, including this comment that you were laughing out loud at the special effects.
Oh, yeah, that was probably me.
And apparently that was you. But then for me, I allegedly said Jeff Goldblum wasn't cute in that movie.
Interesting.
I don't remember saying it like that, but I didn't find him as sexy as I think I was supposed to. Is that fair? I think I'm just owning my feelings.
Yeah, everybody has feelings, people. We feel our feelings.
I agreed with you, because you did say that with special effects of Jurassic Park, but I agreed with you with the giant head. The giant head, towards the tree when they're feeding him. It was just too close.
There were just certain things.
It just
in this day and age, it looked a little hokey.
Well, Christina, oh my God. I disagree with that. Hokey? Okay.
A little, yeah.
All right. Another one, which didn't surprise us. We knew that was coming, but Groundhog Day. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of some negative comments and other messages that were just crazy. Yep. We didn't get it. We didn't. Yeah, we're wrong. What do we not have a funny bone in our body? Why? What happened?
Well, what's funny? So we did receive an email from that as well.
Okay.
From Rob.
Oh.
And he was very surprised. So we had a couple of back and forths about that, and he was surprised at our dislike and felt pretty strongly about it. And so I had replied to him, and I said, look, I just want to know what we're missing. Because we clearly, neither one of us liked it.
No.
And I'm like, please, I'm not trying to be like...
No, really quick. Not only that, not only do we not like it, we didn't like it then or now.
Or now. Yeah. No, it was like, it probably liked it less now. And so I had said, please just tell me what you are thinking. I just want to know what I'm missing. Because this is a beloved film. Mm-hmm. By a lot of people. So I'm like, tell me what you're thinking. So I'm going to read you his email. I said, it's definitely not my favorite movie by any stretch. I was just surprised at how much you both hated it. Maybe revisiting a movie like this during the pandemic where everyone feels the same was a bad idea.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah. The premise of the movie is what you would do if you had all the time in the world. Would you grow? Would you change? Or would you just waste it? I agree, original isn't always good, but it's always first. The movie has been ripped off countless times, most recently this year in Palm Springs. Yeah. I think the movie hinges on whether you want to spend that much time with Bill Murray. I do, and you don't.
Wow.
I don't think the love story is great or that important. I think we all agreed on that one.
But actually,
didn't we all?
We liked her, and we liked.
She was okay.
Yeah,
she was okay.
I guess I think I liked that more than you did.
I think you did. Every movie has its plot holes if you want to find them, especially something as absurd as being trapped in the same day. Sometimes you need to sacrifice plot points for comedy. It's not a documentary.
That's a little harsh.
No, I think it's valid, though. I wanted him to really explain this. Okay. Because I am very confused why people love it so much. The best defense for this movie is that it's still referred to as something people say when things repeat. And that's true. Everyone's like, oh, it's Groundhog Day. And
true.
It's so very true. Sure. It's Groundhog Day. That's lasting cultural impact. And then, of course, this is my favorite part of the email. Of course, both of your opinions are completely valid. And I truly love your podcast.
Oh!
I hate lots of beloved cultural institutions, too. Thank you for making me think deeply about stupid things.
Oh, that's so
it was a really nice, but yes, again, with Groundhog Day, that's kind of why I thought...
He's not alone in that feeling.
No,
either.
Of course not. No, people love this
film. They love that. People love that.
So, and
movie.
I do appreciate the differing opinion of it. I do. I really do appreciate the emails of that
Rob's
stuff.
Great. He's a great movie.
He should be a guest on this.
Absolutely.
Rob, if you're listening, reach out. Oh, we'll reach out to you.
I have one here. This is about Still Magnolias. So, really quick, there's a podcast called Buzzin' the Tower. Buzzn the Tower. And these guys are similar in that they revisit 80s movies, but they recast them.
Oh,
they
cool.
put different spins on them, and it's pretty fun. I do listen to them. So, hey, Brian and Christina, greetings from another pop culture podcaster. We just listened to your Steel Magnolias pod, and I loved it. Loved in all caps.
Nice.
America. You mix great information with passion. I really like how you used your personal experience of fainting to explain why Shelby was so stubborn. I love when I forget shit that I reveal in this podcast.
What? You've mentioned this you recently mentioned fainting too.
I know. It is part of
it's
a little part of my life.
Yeah.
And then he said, I also agree it's totally Sally Field's movie, and the 80s did have this tendency to put a ton of chaos into one scene. Also, Daryl Hannah was awful. Ha ha ha. Thank you.
Nice.
That Still Magnolia's got some really nice love on social media, and that was a really fun actually revisit.
Yeah,
too.
That's amazing.
What else do I have? Oh, another podcast is called Cherish or Perish. They do something similar where they rewatch movies and they decide at the end, like how we do with the Vault.
Like our Vault.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they just kill a movie. So they'll say, let's watch two. They will do like 2 Nicolas Cage movies, and they pick which one.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Cherish, one perish. They wrote, remember our Princess Bride episode where I said,
yes.
Do you know the
argument?
The argument we had, Christina, was Buttercup towards the end is going to kill herself, and she says, I'm going to kill myself. And it's certainly with a laugh that is intended to be a laugh. However, they then show her with a giant dagger that she's going to impale on herself. And my concern is like I said to you, like, you know, it's a family movie. Do you think this is the right place for a suicide
I thought it was fine.
attempt? You totally did.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine.
Cherish and Perish took my side. Thank you. I might be on Brian's side with the suicide debate. Hashtag, I'm not going to let this go. Hashtag, that's all I'm saying. Hashtag, Buttercup says it out loud. But
hashtag, are you all parents?
I don't know if they're parents.
Okay.
Wow, Christina.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Okay. We got a recent email.
Oh.
I don't even know if you've seen it.
Oh my God.
It came in like this morning.
No!
Might have been last night. And it's about how much Brian stinks. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was an email about One Crazy Summer.
Oh my God.
Which was just recently. What number was that? It was episode
just a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it was like 103 or something like that.
Okay.
It was episode 103. It says, I have a couple of additional items to add from my perspective of one crazy summer. Ack. Remember we were like, why is he named Ack? And we're like, it must be a machine gun.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's named after the famed Nantucket airport code Ack.
Oh.
Which I didn't know about that. See, this is nice when customers. Oh, God. I'm losing my mind. Listeners educate us. I like that.
Yeah.
I believe the backup band, remember we were talking about how did she get a band?
Yeah.
I believe the backup band was made up of members of the kitchen staff.
Did Demi Moore write this?
No. And the backup singers were definitely waitresses. So it was like, remember we're like, how did she get a house band? So there's a good answer for that, right? So I like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then he writes, I thought I read a while back that John Cusack was known to carefully curate the music used in his movies, because we had like this big conversation about the music. But I don't think this was the case with this soundtrack.
Interesting.
Oh, and I think the lobsters used in the pool scene were definitely fake. But I can't say the same during the stethoscope and boil scene.
Well, and also the archery scene. The archery, 100%. You can see the lobster moving, and it's like very lobster movements. I hope those lobsters were fake that went into the swimming pool.
Yeah.
But it's like it's what they're suggesting with those images.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know, it just seems
So
unnecessarily.
it was interesting. It was good to clear some of that stuff up.
These are the good guys.
Yeah, it was good to clear that up, and it was signed a #1 fan.
Oh my God, how nice!
Isn't that nice?
Thank you.
A lot of.
Oh, one more. I have one more. I'm sorry. Kim, she wrote about Jaws. Now, I want to be clear. She wrote this before the revisit.
Oh, okay.
She wrote, I just wanted you to know, I did a revisit with Jaws a couple of years ago and had my daughter sit with me. She was 12 at the time. It is such a classic, so I felt it was something she needed to see. Again, because it's PG. And
Gremlins is PG too, by the way.
I know. Sure. And wow, was I surprised. The movie was actually so slow and borderline boring, except, of course, for the shark parts. I haven't listened to your podcast yet, but I will be curious to hear your thoughts.
Interesting. So she thought it was boring.
Yeah, I didn't feel bored. I
and
just thought
it sounds like her daughter might have felt bored, too.
I think that's what... Yeah, I think so.
So I'm not sure
That's
an
surprising.
R rating, yeah.
Well, that is not what you got from Matt.
I'm just saying. That's kind of what I think. I have one more email, and this is actually regarding Some Kind of Wonderful, which is fine, because what happens is a lot of people find it and they just skip it around. But an email came in recently, and I thought this was very, very interesting. I think you read this one already. It says, I just came across your podcast review of Some Kind of Wonderful while going down the YouTube nostalgia vortex yesterday. Enjoyed your review or revisits, so I have been listening to a few of the others. Thank you very much. Anyway, I came across an article and screenshotted an excerpt for which I think you both, and Christina in particular, would like, FYI. Apparently, John Hughes' original ending had Watts telling Keith that they would return the earrings in the morning. The studio apparently made him change it to "You look good wearing my future" and ending. That ending where he says "You look good wearing my future."
Right, absolutely, yeah.
He says, I am a bit torn because I feel the script ending does seem more in line with what Watts would say or do, but I do love the iconic line for the movie ending, which encapsulates a lot of that idealistic romanticism that I am a sucker for. Keep sharing and keep up the good work.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really nice
great.
too.
How would you have felt about that?
So I did reply to him. Yeah. My reply was I thought maybe a combination of this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Christina rewrites.
Me rewriting. I like the idea of her telling him, no, you need to.
Yeah.
Like, he could be like, you look...
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. But it would have ruined the mood.
It would totally ruin the mood. But it's just like Watts to do that.
Talking about money.
So, I mean, so I could see him saying, you look good wearing my future.
Yeah.
And then her turning around and saying, well, don't get used to it because you're returning them in the morning. So sort of a combination.
And that would have felt right for her because she's like a tough. She's like a tough girl.
She's in control.
Yeah, she'd be like, "You're returning them in the morning."
Yes.
And they laugh and they hold hands and walk down the street.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Right.
Super cute.
So do you have any more of our listener comments? Or
that's all I get. I do want to give Lauren a shout out. She's very Lauren
Silver.
Yes,
Lauren Silver.
Yeah, because she goes by a different name on Instagram, but she is always so celebratory and happy with our episodes.
She's amazing.
She's always doing the clapping hands emoji.
Yes.
And we love her support.
She has given us a ton of suggestions, too. She has, off the top of my head, I know she requested Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, great.
And, it's just, Uncle Buck. Yeah. Just a ton of requests. Yeah. And she is truly one of our biggest fans.
Really quick. Yes, she is. And I will say, my friend Amy from work loves the love we give Patrick Swayze whenever we talk about Patrick Swayze.
Oh my gosh, Amy. How could we not love Patrick? He's just the best.
He was amazing. So,
No, go ahead. I was going to ask did you want to talk about the polls at all on Instagram?
Oh my God, yeah. This will be really quick.
Yeah, do that.
I'm honestly going to read them out loud.
Okay.
So on Instagram, please follow us on Instagram. We do a lot of fun polls at times. So we did better song from Pretty in Pink because the soundtrack had an anniversary or whatever, and it was If You Leave or Pretty in Pink. Christina, what would you think?
I would say If You Leave.
53%.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. And I have not seen the answers, so I'm not cheating.
Here we go. If released today, Jaws would be rated PG-13 or R?
Well, I think the answer is probably R, but I also question how many people have watched it recently.
Okay, so 54% said R.
Yeah,
so not a huge number.
Because they're thinking about how scary it was, but if they revisit it and then answer the question, it might be different.
Okay, ready? We did a bunch of Barbra Streisand songs from the 70s and 80s. Any song that appeared in the top 20 from Barbra Streisand, and believe it or not, there were a lot of them. So it all boiled down to two songs. Do you think People or The Way We Were?
The Way We Were.
87%.
Yeah.
It's so wild, though, because those are the two finalists. You would think they'd be a little closer. 87%.
The Way We Were is just such a beautiful song.
Yeah, I don't like the song People. I think it's a snooze.
Yeah.
But The Way We Were is a nice song. And then Glenn Close. So Glenn Close was nominated for Best Supporting Actress this year. Excuse me, for the Netflix movie Hillbilly Elegy. But then we took all of her Oscar-nominated roles and put them against each other to find the definitive Oscar-nominated Glenn Close performance. So it was The World According to Garp, Big Chill, Hillbilly Elegy, The Natural, Fatal Attraction, The Wife, Dangerous Liaisons, and Albert Nobbs.
Fatal Attraction's going to win.
Fatal Attraction won.
You know it,
the runner-up was Dangerous Liaisons.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
So it was 61% Fatal Attraction.
Nice.
So
very nice.
And then finally, Dolly Parton movies.
Oh.
It all boiled down to...
I think 9 to 5 is going to win.
Wrong.
Really?
It boiled down to 9 to 5 versus Steel Magnolias, but it was very close, 54%. Yeah. So again, not a huge number.
Whatever, it's fine.
But that was those were the polls.
Very nice.
But super fun. Yeah, so that's all on Instagram, Old Roommates. Yeah,
and I have to follow more on Instagram. I don't really...
Yes, Christina, please follow us on Instagram.
I know. No, I do follow. I'm just not very active on it.
I know.
So I know I need to do better. On year 3, I promise I'll do better at being more active on Instagram. I'm not going to create stuff like you because you're excellent at it, but I will try to interact more with our listeners. So the last thing we're going to do before our break is we're going to review our all-important vault.
Oh my God.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 music videos. Oh, you know what I didn't take into consideration?
What do you mean right now? 13 episodes? Or 13 videos?
These are the videos that are in our vault.
Oh, total from the beginning.
Yes, from the very beginning.
From the very
that
many?
Well, we have the vault. Yeah, we have the vault.
Okay.
The one thing we didn't put in here was the game shows, but I think Match Game won.
I think so too.
I'm pretty sure. So anyway, this is what we have in our vault so far.
Yeah.
We Are Young, Pat Benatar. We Ain't Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. Take on Me, Aha, Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel. Reluctantly.
Yeah, I know.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. Wham! We couldn't agree. So we have both Careless Whisper and Wake Me Up Before You Go in there. Huey Lewis was also a tie, right after each other, one after another. I Wanted a New Drug and If This Is It are both in the vault.
Yeah.
We Are the World by USA for Africa. The Go-Go's Head Over Heels.
Yeah.
Weird Al's Eat It.
Yeah.
Madonna's Express Yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes by Britney. And Hello by Lionel Richie.
And Alanis Morissette.
And Alanis, oh my God, I didn't put her on our list.
Yeah,
I'm so
you
sorry.
You
oughta know.
know.
What a great playlist.
I would be proud of. I'm proud of that.
I almost want to make a playlist
of just those. We should do that. Maybe I'll do that.
Those.
That's fun.
All right, so let's take a break.
Yes, and we come back with our awards.
We are going to come back,
this is
folks.
So
you're
exciting.
Not going to want to miss this.
Hold on to your seats.
Hold on to your seats.
First annual Roomies
Awards.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Stay tuned.
Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen and folks everywhere, it is our first ever Roomie Awards! Brought to you by Prince of Peace's Original Ginger Chews. 100% natural and totally delicious. Woo!
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful opening
to
our first ever Roomies Awards.
It is
we have 10 categories.
That's right.
We have written down what we feel our winners are.
That's right.
They are sealed in envelopes.
They sure are.
And we are going to give them
to
each other. Okay? Our nominees...
Mine are not sealed, so be
careful. Oh, mine are sealed. Okay.
Awesome.
It's going to take a while to open.
We have chosen categories from 2 years of doing this podcast. We have discovered opportunities of these revisits to make things better. So some of these awards are not as illustrious as perhaps the recipient would have liked them. But I think it is a learning experience. But we are congratulating the good and the bad of the last 12 months of this podcast.
Yes. And I think that these award categories are very indicative to what's important to us.
1,000%.
As podcast hosts of these revisits. So lots of discussions have been made about a lot of these things. Okay, so the first category we have is, we should have a drum roll of some sort. Do we have a drum roll?
Maybe that's for like the winner. That's like before the winner.
Okay. So the category is worst movie driver.
So yes, basically, which movie character or performer most needs to keep their eyes on the road?
Yes.
This is a big pet peeve of mine.
It is.
It's from watching a whole lot of 80s and 90s and 70s movies. When people don't look at the road while they're driving.
Yes.
So, Christina, you have my vote.
I have yours.
Okay, and you
have mine.
I have yours. So you can open mine first. And the winner is...
Brian's
pick.
Brian's pick is Michael Douglas in Basic Instinct. Episode number 69.
So basically...
Not intended, but appropriate.
Episode 69 is Revisit of Basic Instinct, and revisiting that, basically every driver in that movie is a disaster. It's just a lot of bad driving. I picked on Michael Douglas because he is the biggest star in this film.
Yes.
And he should have known better. There's so much driving in this movie, and all of it is bad, and he is my pick for worst movie driver.
Very
Christina,
good.
I'm going to
Very
open
good.
yours. This is Christina's pick.
I should have given you a letter opener.
Christina's award goes to Kimmy. Kimmy, oh my gosh. Kimmy from My Best Friend's Wedding, episode 59.
So, again, it's not exactly what you're thinking about in terms of worst movie driver, because you're more or less looking at the actor.
Yeah, yes.
But this woman was a menace on the road, and I could not choose her.
Oh, my exit. Yeah. Yeah.
She scoots around, like, several times she's driving, and Julia Roberts is, like, clinging to life.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So.
That's a good one. Driving is a privilege.
It is
Don't
a privilege.
abuse it. Pay attention.
They did have seatbelts on, though, by the way.
They did. By the way, and this is before phones.
Yes.
And they're bad drivers.
Yes.
Okay. Our next award, this is an important one. This really separates the girls from the women, shall we say. For sure. Best accent. In a revisit award, Christina's pick is...
Drum
roll, please.
I'm going to look up a drum roll on my phone here.
Christina's pick goes to... Oh my god, this is funny. We have the same runner-up. Okay.
Interesting.
Christina's pick is Kate Nelligan, Prince of Tides.
That's right.
Episode 92, Christina.
Yep. She was flawless. I love Kate Nelligan anyway. I was torn between Kate Nelligan in...
Olympia Dukakis.
In Prince of Tides.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And Kate Nelligan in Frankie and Johnny, because I loved her accent in
that
as well.
Oh my god.
Totally
so good.
different accents.
That's right.
But then, yes, and my runner-up... Oh, actually, I'll tell you your winner first.
Yeah, you can open mine.
Your winner, Brian's pick for Best Accent Award... Gina Davis in Thelma and Louise. Or, as Brian likes to say... Velma and Louise. Episode number 73. Good one.
Because during Gina Davis and Velma Louise, I believe she comes from Wareham, Massachusetts, and but to be working with say Susan Sarandon and other people and her accent to me really was that great balance of authentic and comedic when it needed to be, and I think she did that balance really, really well. I loved it, and when I found myself quoting that movie, they tend to be her lines. Is that great line about, well, I know, but we're running from our lives. Can't you make an exception?
Can't you make an exception? We're running from our lives.
Drive, Louise. Oh my god,
that was good.
It was a great balance.
She's good.
She balanced it really beautifully.
And then we both had the same runner-up. You said
yes. My runner-up was Olympia Dukakis.
Was it from Moonstruck or was it from Steel Magnolias? Because that was another one. I loved her in Steel Magnolias too.
And I have to be honest, I guess that falls under disappointments of the past year. We lost Olympia Dukakis in the last 12
that
months.
Was very disappointing. All right, I'm gonna try this drum roll, but I haven't listened to it.
Okay,
let's
we'll give it a try.
Ready?
Yeah.
You want to try it for over?
Oh, that's sufficient.
Okay.
All right.
So
you start the next award.
Okay. So our next award is the Didn't Age Well award.
So this award goes to... Is it something because we're more politically correct now and we're more aware?
And we found many, many times the political climate was a little different.
Yeah.
And social awareness much different in 80s movies. So, Brian's pick was... Hold on.
Oh.
Brian's pick... There's no, it's a little odd without the we'll have to do the match game and pyramid game shows.
Yes,
oh my gosh, that's so true, Jack. I didn't even think about those.
So to me, this was a very easy category.
Oh my gosh.
Let me give you one example.
Yes.
This is from Pyramid, and I will say
episode
that
episode 63, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Episode
episode 63. I feel like in particular women, everything was mansplained to them. It was so chronic, you guys.
Gosh.
Find Pyramid, an old 80s or 70s episode of Pyramid, because I will tell you, when a woman didn't have a job and was a mom, it was like It wasn't even tell me about you. It was tell me about your child. Okay.
Oh my God, it's so true.
Oh, do you have a picture of the little one? Right? They cut her off completely.
Oh my
If
gosh.
it's worse, if you have a job and you're a woman in the 70s and 80s, this is real. The woman has a job. Dick Clark. So, I read what you do, and I still don't know what you do.
Oh my God, I
Do you
remember that. I remember that. So
what do you do?
disrespectful.
And it's always this. So what do you do exactly? Like, as if it's almost mocking her integrity and her skill. Women had a rough time in the game show sphere, and most likely in society. Mm-hmm. And I think that it was very aware in our rewatch of Match Game and Pyramid.
I 100% agree.
All right.
It wasn't my pick, but
Christina's pick.
All right, I have a different.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
What about this one?
Okay.
All right, that's not too bad. A
little long. Christina's pick for Didn't Age Well Award. Hello. By Lionel Richie, episode 97.
Yes. He was stalking, lurking in the background, just watching this woman. It was downright freaking creepy. Calling her on the phone, like basically prank calling her. It was, and he was her professor.
I know.
Just so inappropriate in so many different ways. So,
Christina, I 1,000% agree. That's actually one of my favorite podcast moments.
It's so
funny. Our next award, I think is it my turn?
It's your turn. I don't care. I think it is your turn. It is your turn.
You don't care. That's
no, of course I care.
Our first ever Roomie Awards.
Okay, ready?
First one.
Go ahead.
Next award is the Wrong Rating Award. You cannot say that 10 times fast. Christina's pick is...
See, that was good.
That was good.
I did the timing a little differently.
Wow. Christina's pick for
Is
wrong...
Is it a surprise?
It is a surprise. It really is. Wrong Rating Award. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, episode 56.
That's right. That rating is G.
Yeah, that's rough.
Children
die.
Is G.
Yeah, a child dies.
Yeah. And just the boat experience alone, going through that boat with all the maggots and like all that whole scene.
They chop a chicken's head off.
They chop the chicken's head off. That is not a G moment. That needs to be at least a PG.
I will say our good friend Mr. Cella gets really frustrated with us when we talk about the wrong rating type of stuff. And I think it's a really important conversation.
Why does he get frustrated?
Because he doesn't think it's a big deal. But the thing is, I think it is a big deal because you're subjecting children under false pretenses. Yeah,
I do like to know. I mean, for me, it's not much as important, but I think I do need to know. Especially now that she's 13, and there's some movies that I would like her to see, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate, And I do use the rating as a guide for her.
Absolutely.
I mean, there have been, PG-13s can be tricky.
Yeah. Well, Rob said it when we were talking about this. Like, it's like, oh, well, what you mean is you would have preferred not seeing certain images at a young age. Yes. So, you can open mine.
Yes, and here is Brian's pick for Wrong Rating Award. Jaws. Big surprise.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
I think for me it was a no-brainer because I don't even have a runner-up, but it's, a child explodes when Jaws bites into him. Yeah. And that was enough for me. Also, there is a cum joke where he says, I'm coming, and she's like, and she rips her top off. Yep. He goes, oh, I'm definitely coming. Gross. And side boob, and it's PG. I think that is wrong. It should be an R. Jaws, again, is just chewing away on Quint, and has, food in he has Quint in his teeth. And it's pretty gross. I think an R would have totally sufficed. And also the idea of terror.
Yes.
I think that sometimes the intensity of terror warrants a stronger rating at times.
Yes. Okay, so the next award is the most unfunny comedy.
This is a big one.
Yeah, and I think maybe we can open these together.
Yeah, this is
I took
one
a peek.
Sure winner for this one.
I took a peek, and I feel that opening these both at the same time is a good idea. Most unfunny award.
Porky's. Episode 86.
Yeah. If you don't believe us, go watch it.
Oh, man, this
the
movie.
Least
By the
funny.
way, one of the most successful movies of 1981 or 80? Most of 81, because it came out late.
That's right, yeah.
So, for me, it is so unfunny. It's just I didn't laugh. I didn't laugh. I mean, there's the Mike Hunt joke, the telephone joke.
That's right.
But that is like so old now, and but I just didn't laugh. What's worse than an unfunny comedy? I think I alluded to this when we were during the episode, but like there's also that look where the kids are so dumb in this movie, and they're so sex obsessed. It felt almost like Friday the 13th without the murders.
Yes,
like because they're all dumb and they're all like they're all sex obsessed. And it's like trust me though, I was wishing Jason would show up,
right?
And
decimate. We could use the
especially
Jason in that movie.
Pee-wee.
I mean, talk about a movie that didn't age well,
right?
I mean, that one definitely didn't age well.
No, I just felt bad. I felt bad for every woman involved in this movie, in that film.
Okay, next award.
Best Music Video Revisit Award. We watched a lot of music videos this past year.
We did, yep.
Christina's pick. That's so funny. Christina's pick. Weird Al. Eat It.
That's right.
Episode 66. That is a great choice.
I forgot how much I loved Weird Al. And watching that video made me so happy. And you talked about it earlier with being surprised at his talent. It was so fun. And it actually inspired me to watch more Weird Al videos.
Nice.
So it's just so fun and just hilarious.
And it will never not be funny when he busts through the door and he bangs into that
with
poor
that
guy.
Face, all that joy on his face. Oh my gosh.
And you have a runner-up. Do you want to talk about that first?
What was my runner-up?
Brittany, sometimes.
Oh, yes.
You like that one.
Well, I did. I really liked that one. And I will tell you, I don't know if it's because of this whole Free Britney movement and everything that she's going through right now, but I think that when people think about Britney, they think of her with her troubles.
Yeah, that's fair.
And revisiting that music video reminded me of a time when she was so sweet and pure and talented.
Yeah. And
not that she's not talented now, but she was just... It was lovely. Yeah. And that song still comes into my head. Yeah. Like, I'll be walking around and be like, sometimes I run. Like, it's just so catchy, and it made me happy inside.
That's such a good take on that. Like, it was, because we've seen enough documentaries and stuff like that to know. It's like, the media played such a awful role in this, in her situation, and it's like, and it's nice to look back on that video where she's like in white, having a nice time, and being
and happy,
and acting her age. She's a young girl,
midriff and all.
I know.
So your Brian's pick,
yes,
the best music video, Lionel Richie's "Hello."
You listen, for all the didn't aged wellness of it, it felt like a piece of cinema. There was acting, there was drama, there was tension.
There was that voiceover at the beginning.
Voiceovers and stuff, and the acting, and then there was a conclusion, and a love story, and a weird, is he a narrator? Is he a ghost? Is he a stalker?
There was a lot involved.
There was a lot in 5 minutes, and I think that is, listen, as problematic as it is, I think it's well done.
Yeah. Agreed. I think it was well done too.
Is it me or you?
It just didn't age that well. I think it's me.
Okay.
So this one is worst performance by an A-lister.
Yeah.
Ryan's pick was Carol Kane from The Princess Bride.
Carol, I am so sorry.
Episode number 64.
Yeah, I love Carol Kane. I love her and Kimmy Schmidt.
But that makes it even worse when you love someone and they have a bad
that's why she's
performance.
an A-lister. She's an A-lister to me.
Yeah.
She is just such a funny, endearing presence in just about everything she does. And sadly, I think she is the worst thing in The Princess Bride. Liar! 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 It's like, oh my god, just shut up. I just feel like the comedic beats are off. I think she just gets in the way. Like someone's life is in danger, and she's farting around with this crazy voice. It is distracting. It is not funny. It is a clunker of a performance.
Yep.
I will say she had some competition.
Yeah.
Because I was torn between her. Unfortunately, they're all women, and I don't know why that happened.
Do you want to see my answer before you tell me your... Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how this should work.
Get it ready.
All
Christina's pick.
Christina's pick.
Christina's pick is one of my runner-ups.
Of course.
Demi Moore.
I had a feeling.
Demi Moore won Crazy Summer episode 103.
Yeah, I
Christina,
mean, this
do
was
tell.
a pretty recent revisit, and she just did not do anything in this movie. She could have been replaced by anyone on the street. There was nothing
Absolutely agree.
special about her performance. She looked bored. She did not look like she even wanted to be there. And I think even just an upcoming B-lister, if you will, would have done a better job.
I 1000% agree. She's bad in this movie. She could have done so much more with it. I will say, Kim Basinger was up there too. So
She was on. Did I write that? I didn't write that down.
No,
I almost did. Kim Basinger. So I struggled
in
with
Batman.
that.
We should be clear. In Batman.
Yes, in Batman. I struggled with that because I couldn't remember if it was really the actress that I had a trouble with or the character. And I almost put Kim Basinger in there because she was bad.
It's a good point too, because it's like, the script says Vicky screams. Like we talked about that.
Right,
Is it really her fault? I don't know.
But she was
yeah,
good.
she was up there. Next award. This is a good one. Most Middle-Aged Lens Award. So now I want to explain what we mean by this. So it's the middle-aged lens. So basically it's like, what this time around what has changed in our point of view being older? That is the point. So the most middle-aged lens award.
Yep. So this is Christina's
pick is... Christina, you really sealed these suckers.
I know.
Oh, you have to explain this. So I wrote mine out, but you have to explain yours. So Christina's pick, Uncle Buck, episode 62.
So Uncle Buck... I felt, when I first saw Uncle Buck, I felt like he was just this big clunky uncle, didn't know what he was doing. It was hilarious because he was just in there being just a goofball. And looking at him now as a middle-aged person, he was a great caretaker. He knew what he was doing. He worked really hard. I would have him babysit my kids any day of the week. He wasn't just this clunky guy. He knew what he was doing.
That's an excellent pick.
That's my middle age.
I sort of screwed up. I wrote mine out, but you can read mine.
Okay.
I know you have a runner up here. We'll get to that. My pick.
Okay, Brian's pick. I'll get better with the sound. I'm obsessed with this sound. So I don't know. Brian's pick, Clarice's foolhardy sole endeavor to catch a psychopath in the Silence of the Lambs.
Yes. So I struggled with this award.
Episode 57.
Yeah. So this was between Mommy Dearest and Porky's in this one. So Porky's being, you don't tear down a man's business because he carded you. Okay.
Right. And then we cheer for him for doing it.
Oh my God. Well,
right.
Right. So basically we're team Porky's at this point in our lives. So.
Exactly.
But Mommy Dearest, and we talked about that, like, Christina, just behave, girl. Like, just listen to your mom. So, but this was kind of a somewhat easy one because seriously, Clarice, like, I think the movie failed her in the sense that it never really explained explicitly why she didn't ask for help. She has found a head in a jar. She has someone threw.
Go on.
Someone ejaculates on her in prison,
better.
Okay? She has been scared to death by, like, these crazy butterfly geek people. She's had to look at, like, dead bodies. She's had to, like, go crawl under a fucking, like, broken storage unit. Ugh. Ask for help! Yeah. And I understand. But here's the thing. We talked about some other movies in this episode, this looking back. Basic Instinct. Like, there's two cops. There are typically
There's always two cops. There's always
two cops. And it's like, and all they're doing is asking Sharon Stone if she murdered someone. That's
and
it. So
they're
it's like,
full-fledged cops. She's a trainee.
She's training. Clarice, ask for some goddamn help before
And she had her friend that could easily have helped her.
Ardelia. So, Ardelia's great. Ardelia could have helped. And it's like, why, what is going on? Ask for help. It's never clear why. That's my middle-aged lens. Your runner-up was The Little Mermaid, episode 60.
Yeah. Little Mermaid, I just feel like she was a little shit. She was not... We talked about this. The father has one rule. One rule. Don't go to the surface, right?
That's right, yeah.
What does she do? 1 second after he tells her this, she goes to the surface.
That's right.
I mean, she's a brat. She's a misbehaved child.
She needed Joan Crawford.
She needed Joan Crawford.
Yeah.
She needed some discipline.
Yeah.
I was on King Triton's side
Yeah.
the whole time. And then also just even the whole idea of her not being able to speak. So clearly he's just in love with what she looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So that is bothersome.
You also, I'm surprised, what I thought you were going to say is you had a great point about how she had to, like, give up her voice to find love. For a man.
For a man she never even met.
Yeah.
She never even met.
It's a
So
bag of
all of
bullshit.
that stuff was, yeah.
But I have to
No
say,
fantasy princess for me.
I do have to say I do still love that movie. Okay, this
next.
big one. Oh, you go, sorry.
Okay, so this one is the biggest waste of time. These movies can be quite
Listen,
long.
we had a lot of...
We have a busy life. We have families. We have
hour.
careers. We have pets to take care of. We have things to... Oh, I'm sorry.
Christina, I just talked about Shorty.
Had pets to take care
God.
of. Well, you still take care of something around here, I think.
I don't think we have lots
Well,
of
you have a
plants.
land. You have a tenant to take care of.
We do have a tenant. We have lots of plants.
And
Yeah.
lots of plants, yes.
Thank you,
Living
yeah.
things to take
Yeah.
care of. We don't have time to waste.
Yeah, don't waste our time. A lot of these movies are over 2 hours long.
Yes.
And we've seen them before. This is an endeavor.
This is an endeavor.
So, Chris,
So
do you want me to go
these
first or you?
movies are a biggest waste of time. I'll do your pick
Okay.
first, right?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the biggest waste of time award. Brian's pick. Dead Poets Society. Number 65. Brian, why don't you open up my envelope?
No! Oh my god. Christina's pick. Dead Poet Society.
I should have looked at it before.
Oh my god. Christina,
Enough said, right?
Jesus, we don't have to talk about it.
It was ridiculous.
We don't even-
Episode number 65.
Oh.
Such a waste of time. Robin Williams was not funny in here, but you'd never know it from the rolling in the aisles laughter from all those stupid boring boys. Horrible, long.
Oh, so long. Oh my
Long.
god, that movie. That was painful.
That was very
Okay,
painful. All
this
right.
is it. It all boils down to this, you guys. This is the biggest award of the night.
Yep.
Most nostalgic revisit. Christina, I'm going to open yours first.
Okay.
Do you want to do the... Okay, this is it.
I'll do a longer.
Biggest award of the night. Christina.
Brian.
So fucked up. You should probably open mine too.
Oh, okay.
Christina's pick.
And Brian's pick.
The
Love Boat! Oh my
Christina,
god! This is so beautiful. It is so awesome that it was our last award.
Oh my god. The last two we got, Christina.
Oh my god, that's right.
Dead Poet Society.
But this is like the most nostalgic. I mean,
I know,
feel like
this is the biggest. This is the biggest award.
This
Yeah.
is like
Episode
kind of stuff.
82. The
Episode
Love Boat.
82.
Most
The Love Boat.
nostalgic revisit.
Super nostalgic.
Christina.
And we loved that
Oh my god.
show.
For me, I was like, oh god, because doing a series, these episodes are an hour long, right? So it's like, or 48 minutes or something. So it's like, oh god, we're committing to like 10 episodes and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you the truth. That feeling of nostalgia when it was like,
It's just that. It's like literally the first note.
My heart
Actually, it's
skipped.
the da 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 da. I mean, come on, you get
My
chills.
heart skipped a beat, and I was just in it. And
Me
I'm like,
too.
I miss Isaac.
From the very
I miss
beginning.
Julie. I miss Vicky, who's working without.
I missed the
illegally,
anchor
yeah.
coming up to show the
stars.
stars.
Even though I didn't know half
It
of
was,
them.
and I was in it for the very beginning.
Christina, what an excellent nostalgic visit. The
100%.
Well deserving of that award.
Yes, absolutely.
Christina, this was fun.
Oh my god, this is so fun. So seriously, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much.
A bunch of play the music.
Oh my god, of
Play
course.
the music. We'll have a nice
The
awards music.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you all for listening. I want to do a special shout out to Emily for our old roommates art that sits in our new studio.
Proudly hangs in our studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our husbands and our families for all of our support.
And for rewatching stuff with us.
Rewatching stuff and just, we have to take some time out to do the editing and the meetings itself.
Yes.
And watching the movies, so they have been super supportive. Thank you,
this is
listeners.
like your acceptance
This
speech.
is my acceptance
Christina,
speech.
it's so nice.
Would you like to say a few words?
Oh my god, no, but thank you so much for listening, and please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and like us and subscribe to us everywhere you can. We appreciate it so much, you guys. We love you. Thank you
Here's
for
to
an
year number
amazing
3.
year. Yes, one more year.